I was thinking this morning about the Eagles' lack of action, and this sentence popped into my head that the Super Bowl window is closing for the Philadelphia Eagles, and the next couple of years could get ugly.
Ooh, boy.
And that's the sentence that popped into my head. And here's how I got there, because I wanted to, this morning, I was thinking about this offseason and also thinking about comparing it to last offseason. And I got really frustrated last offseason seeing all those players leave, right? And I was yelling and screaming about it. And last year we saw Milton Williams walk out the door. We saw Josh Sweat walk out the door. Darius Slay, Isaiah Rodgers, CJ GJ threw a tantrum. And then this year, so far, we see Nakobe Dean walk out the door. Jalen Phillips walks out the door. Reed Blankenship walks out the door. And I wanted to be mad at Howie. Do something, do something, do something. But then I realized the reality of when you are a Super Bowl team and you have a very talented team, you cannot pay everybody, right? And this happens. That, Super Bowl teams over the next couple of years, if they're very, very good, they lose players. But these special teams that end up being dynasties, that have these runs for 5 to 7 years, they have something that we don't have. They have a coach and a quarterback, or at least a coach or a quarterback, who are special level, who are force multipliers, who can keep things afloat when the talent level goes down. And I don't think we have that here. I look back at the two you look at are the Patriots and the Chiefs, right? We have Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. And those Chiefs teams, they lost talent, but there was Patrick Mahomes, right? And there was Andy Reid. And then the Patriots teams, they recycled talent over and over and over again. But there was Tom Brady to make sure that when the team wasn't quite as talented, he was great. Even if you have a coach who's a great schemer, coordinator, doesn't necessarily make you a great head coach, but the ones that are great head coaches, they can say, well, I can keep the team afloat. And I look at these next couple of years with talent walking out the door, and I think Nick is a good coach, but I don't think he is a great coach. I don't think he's a coach that can make a fair team good or a good team great. I think Jalen is a fine quarterback, but I don't think he's a quarterback that can lift up a roster that isn't quite as talented. And that is my concern. My concern isn't that they're not going to win the Super Bowl this year. My concern is that the bridge years, like the couple years in between the Super Bowl years that a lot of times these teams go through, that those years could get ugly here. Mm-hmm. Because I don't think we have that coach or that quarterback that can lift everyone up. And to me, it makes it feel like this window, this era is like closing because we don't have that to keep us afloat.
Yeah, when you say this era, if you're telling me the Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts era may be closing, that may be the case. No different than the Doug Peterson, Carson Wentz / Nick Foles era closed within 5 years. I don't know how much different is that. So if you're telling me that's what it is, I'm still not going to panic. You know why? Because the one thing that has been the mainstay through this, since he's been back in position in 2016, is Howie Roseman. That's been the constant. That's been the mainstay. The other parts have all been moving parts that he and Mr. Lurie have acquired during the time that they took back over their organization from Chip Kelly. So everybody else has been moving parts, and I can go through the host of players that have become Eagle greats in the last decade. From 2016 to 2026, the amount of players that this fan base has fallen in love with who are probably going to be in Eagles lore for the rest of eternity because they delivered 2 Super Bowl titles, 3 Super Bowl appearances, all pros, guys that are part of a generation that's going to carry the Eagles fandom into the next generation. The guy that's been the mainstay in all of that is still here. And he's the reason why there's always potential possibility in the window staying open. Even if it's not with the same furniture inside the window, we'll move out the old furniture and bring in new furniture. That I 100% have full confidence in because he's shown me that for a decade. His track record speaks for itself. I don't need to sell anybody on Howie Roseman and what he can do as a general manager. I'm perfectly fine there. But the players, I can't argue that. This is a pivotal year for a lot of people moving forward. It's why I said this was sort of a step back year, and you got to take a step back to take 2 steps forward. That's sort of what they're doing. I'm not surprised by any of this. I'll see as we move forward whether or not I should continue to believe in a Jalen Hurts as the quarterback, but that's something he's going to have to continue to show. You're right. To this point, it's been up and down, middle of the pack, good but not great. I don't think that's even disputable. I really don't. There's been some good. There's also been a desire to see more. And with any franchise quarterback, to your point, when talent leaves, it often falls on the quarterback and the head coach to raise the other boats, right? It falls on them. Let me just throw this in here because I'm getting long-winded. I like Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts for multiple reasons. Resume speaks for themselves. I'm not delusional about either one of them. I understand what they are. I can appreciate what they are while also realizing that they aren't perfect, that there may be some areas where there's some improvement needed that would help stabilize some things. But I can't be that upset at what I've seen based on what they've done. And you're right, it's been a lot of talent around them. That's why I go back to Howie Roseman. I can't now expect Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts to perform miracles and do things that really is above their capabilities. The one guy I do have to trust in is Howie Roseman. When this team needs something, he knows how to go out and get it. So that's who I'll continue to believe in him. And because that's who it falls on. It falls on him more than anything because that's who I have the most trust in.
Yeah, I think 215-592-9494. Do you think this Super Bowl window era is closing, and do you think it's possible that it could get ugly here the next couple of years? I think the difference between the way we see it is when you're saying a step back this coming year, like I think this year could be a 7-win or 8-win year. I think it could be a real step back. Yeah, I could be. I just see all this talent going out.
But that's all things going bad as well. Like you're gonna need a lot to go bad for the Eagles to be a bad team. Like we've become so accustomed to winning that we forget how hard it is to win the way that they win in this league. And so even if they took a step back to 7 or 8 wins, that's not 4 wins like 2020.
No, it's not.
That's not 4 wins. So they were 7-9 before they went to the Super Bowl the next year with Doug Peterson.
For sure. Yep.
Like they were 9-8, got smashed in the playoffs by Tampa, and then was in the Super Bowl the next year. So a step back, as long as it's not a disaster, like I'm okay. I can handle that because I know in 2027, that next offseason, Howie's going to get the job done.
215-592-9494. Do you think the Eagles Super Bowl window is closing on this era?